So we're still on step number 2 of the fast track to fabulous. And we're awakening to what's going on around us. We awaken to our perceptions and our projections and the meaning that we give various events in our life. Now what I'd like you to awaken to is awaken to excuses. The excuses that you make that prevent you from moving forward. So what I'd like you to consider is reasons versus results. So we all have very good reasons as to why we don't get things done, or we can have the results of getting them done. So reasons are really just another name for excuses. They can be really good reasons, but they're still excuses and they still prevent you from moving forward. At the end of the day, do you want results or do you want reasons? What is it that you want? Basically, as human beings, we're driven by 2 things, pleasure and pain. Either something is too painful for us to have in our life and therefore we move away from it, or it's pleasure that we're after. And that's what drives us, is this pain and pleasure equation. So quite often, when you think about exercise as an example, you're thinking about getting up in the morning and going to the gym. That sounds way too painful. But what we're not thinking about is perhaps the pleasure, the aspect of, well, what about if we did that? How good would we feel? How good would we feel in the morning when we've done our exercise and we've got a brand new mindset and we're ready to approach the day? So what I'd like you to do is connect with your pleasure and pain by going to the exercise workbook, and I'd like you to go to that section that says pleasure and pain exercise, and I would like you to list the behavior that you want to address. What is it? What is the behavior that you don't want in your life, and why don't you want it? And without this in your life, why would your life be better? So for instance, you could say that the behavior is binge eating. I don't want this in my life because it makes me feel out of control. It makes me feel disappointed with myself. It makes me feel angry with myself. It makes me feel as if I have lost all power and control and direction in my life. Without binge eating in my life would be better because I would feel calm, at peace, in control, as if I'm achieving my goals. That's just one example of a behavior that I want you to list. There could be many such behaviors. So go ahead, pause the video or the audio and do that right now. So previously I had mentioned that quite often as humans we tend to say what we don't want rather than what we want. So it's very important that we say what we want, not what we don't want. So I want you to be very specific now in terms of what you want. I want you to go to your exercise book where it says, what do you want? And I want you to write, what do you want in your life? And for what purpose? I want specifically what, and why do you want it? What you need to make sure is that you don't put any negatives. You must not say things like, I do not want to be fat. I do not want to be overweight. I do not want to be depressed. What is it that you want? People usually find this exercise quite difficult because they're not used to thinking this way. And whatever it is that you focus on, that's what you get. So we need to start focusing on what we want, not what we don't want. If we focus on what we want, then we know that's our target, and then we start moving towards that direction. So what do you want? Pause the audio now and go and find out what it is that you specifically want. Great. Now that we've got exactly what you want, specifically what you want, we're going to create a compelling outcome. Because what people often do is that they talk in very general terms and they don't achieve their goals. So what we're going to create a compelling outcome. So these are the rules. We need to get very specific. Very specific. For instance, if you want to lose weight, losing weight is not specific. Losing 10 kilos is specific. Going from a size 12 to a size 10 is specific. So we need to be very specific in terms of what we want. We need it to be measurable so that if somebody else came along and saw you, they would know whether you've achieved it or not. It wouldn't be subjective as to whether you've achieved it or not. So you can see that if you said that you wanted to lose weight and someone came to check whether you actually did that, they wouldn't be able to know whether you did this or not if you just said lose weight, as opposed to I'm now a size 10. We need to talk as if it's currently happening now. So our subconscious mind puts a picture, we put a picture in our subconscious mind which it believes it's true. So basically, we need to talk in the present tense. We need to create a picture as if it's currently happening, and then our subconscious mind thinks it's happening right now. And so then we start thinking like that person, we start behaving like that person. The language needs to be realistic, and it needs to be timed. We need to put a date. So what I would like you to do now is I'd like you to go to your exercise book, and I'd like you to create a compelling outcome. So go to the exercise that says create a compelling outcome, and we are going to create this compelling outcome. What we need to do is we need to talk in the present tense. So I'd like you to start your sentence with it is, and the date, a realistic date that you want to achieve this goal. It is 1st of March 2015, whatever it is for you. I am, in other words, this is the activity that I'm currently doing. I am running at the beach and I'm wearing my size 10 sports gear, and I feel fantastic, I feel in control, I feel wonderful, I love life. So they're the things that I want you to do. I want you to create a compelling outcome by stating those three things: the date, what you're currently doing, making sure that you don't use language such as I will be doing something, I am going to, because if you write I am going to do something, you're always going to do it, but you're never quite there. You're always going to do it. Does that make sense? What you need to do is write that you're currently doing it. I am. As an example, my lifelong dream was to go to Paris, and so one of the goals that I'd written up for myself was, it is July 2013, and I'm standing in the streets of Paris, and I can feel my heart thumping because I'm so excited that I'm finally here. And so that is a compelling goal. It's a compelling outcome. I'm currently here, and that's exactly what happened for me. I created that goal, and that's exactly what I did. So that's what I'd like you to do. Create this goal so that you can live in that moment.